You know, the funny thing about America today is that just because we get a win at the Supreme Court doesn't mean lower courts are going to pay attention. And it certainly doesn't mean you can take a victory lap. Here at Gun Owners of America, the fight ends when your gun rights aren't infringed, and not 1 minute sooner. Hey guys, it's Phil with GOA, and you're watching the Minuteman Moment. Anti-gunners are trying to find loopholes to circumvent the Supreme Court's Bruin decision from earlier this year that reaffirmed your God-given right to keep and bear arms. That's why we're fighting so hard to overturn New York's draconian gun control law that puts virtually the entire state off limits to concealed carry permit holders. Ever since SCOTUS told New York they have to give people concealed carry permits, New York has responded by making life more difficult to function as a normal citizen who doesn't want to get shot while being required to be defenseless. If New York gets away with enacting this assault on our Second Amendment, anti-gun mayors and governors across America will believe they have free rein to follow suit. It's critical that we nip this trend in the bud before it triggers a domino effect of anti-gun assaults from coast to coast. New York is bitterly clinging to something called the Sensitive Places Doctrine, which claims that certain sensitive areas can be turned into gun-free zones. Not that I agree with the following argument, but it's one thing to make that claim about courtrooms, Area 51, or prisons. But just because New York's subway system feels like a prison doesn't mean you can legislate it as if it is. The good news is GOA has been fighting on this front, and we have an update. The New York judge who is hearing our case responded favorably to our position against these bogus sensitive places that are arbitrarily created to restrict gun rights, but dismissed our case on very technical grounds. But we're not giving up the fight. Our lawsuit is initially seeking a temporary restraining order and ultimately a permanent injunction to prevent enforcement of this law. Our attorneys appeared before the judge in Syracuse, New York on the 29th of September. But even if we win, you can be sure that New York is going to appeal their loss. So we're potentially looking at a very long and drawn out case, and we'll stay in this fight all the way up to the Supreme Court if that's what's needed. So to keep up this fight, Gun Owners Foundation is going to need support from our generous members like you, because fighting tyranny isn't cheap. Just for a minute, think about our brothers and sisters behind enemy lines in a state like New York, and one day in a state like California, and on and on. We don't like overwhelming you with requests for donations, so we only make requests when we really need that push. The reason why this fight is so important, even if you don't live in New York, is because a Supreme Court decision could kneecap unconstitutional restrictions in every state and city. But as important as this battle is, GOF is fighting legal battles across this country. In federal court, we're challenging the Biden rule, which registers guns and gun owners and restricts homemade firearms. In California, we're filing amicus briefs challenging the magazine ban before it spreads to other states. In Michigan, we're challenging ATF's refusal to allow concealed carry permit holders to bypass the NICS check system when purchasing firearms. And in Virginia, we're fighting their universal background check law and one handgun a month law. That's in addition to challenging a city in Virginia's ban on carrying guns at a permitted event, which we won as of September 27th. Yay for us. In Oregon and Missouri, we're defending a county's Second Amendment Protection Act against Bloomberg's big money lawyers so they can be adopted across the country. I want to see those SAPAs spread. The Washington Supreme Court may soon hear our challenge to the state's semi-auto ban, and our federal court challenge to the ATF's bump stock ban, currently on appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, may soon be heard. We didn't forget about that one. All this is just a slice of the legal actions Gun Owners Foundation is taking to defend our God-given rights. Your support ensures that we have the funds to keep waging all of these legal battles and winning our major fights against states like New York, where a loss could have devastating consequences for gun rights across the country. We don't send fundraising bombs for everything, but we do ask for support when we need it. So check out the Gun Owners Foundation's Legal Defense Fund to help us win all of our legal battles against these petty tyrants. To those of you who have already supported us during this video, thank you very much. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you next time.